All right, yeah, I'm ready.
Going live. Okay, so let me cue the music already. And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with a co-host, Lazaro, who's a second-time appearance, I believe. And we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. You are going to add to that?
Well, yes. Also, we are representatives for humanity, for its betterment, and for the growth of all the world, and bring peace, not riot.
Okay. All right. That makes it extremely long dissertation at the beginning of every show, but that's okay. You know, I try to make it kind of succinct. But yeah, I get it.
You caught me off track.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll get one coming up soon one day.
Hey, no problem there. So, all right. So I was just having a discussion with Lazaro. I said we should probably bring it on, just like last time. And what we're talking about is the resonance frequency of humanity is rising, or we're getting like an influx of energy. And there's some charts, and we were kind of going over how those come into play. So I thought maybe it's a good idea we share them, and then everyone gets to kind of follow along with this. So let me go ahead and I'll share my screen also, so we can know what we're talking about here. First with the audience, right? And then I'll share it with you.
Yeah, this has been something that a big topic lately of thousands of tweets and Telegram. So yeah, the issue of the Schumann has been followed by many of the QAnons, and many of the Q followers do follow the Schumann, and there's a hint that QAnon does indicate shines light for the Schumann too, and he does back it up too. So
Okay.
I just don't have the exact precise spots where he mentions it. But anyway, as far as the energy is concerned.
Well, we'll see if we can keep the energy flowing here. So, okay, I'm sharing it with you now, so you can see what's. Can you see this?
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So this is the from June 14th, disclosure news. So what are we looking at here?
Well, what we're looking at on this graph is the representations on the left is the frequencies. So what we're seeing on the bottom is the time frame. And these are time notes where you can look at the frequency and the time, and you can get a actual, at that point, what frequency the Earth planet was at.
So this,
at that moment.
okay, so this is the Earth's frequency, right? So we're looking, that's what we're looking
Resonant
at.
frequency.
Resonant frequency. So what it's resonating at. So on the very far left,
Yeah,
I just want to get some points here. So at the very beginning, it's just really dark up here at the very top. It goes to blue, goes to green, goes to blue, goes to green, goes to blue, goes to green. So what?
If you can, there's a pattern. If you see of waves, you see the waves.
Yes.
It's like.
Wave, they're kind of like two. Yeah. So it go over time, right? Over every day.
It's an echo, yeah, and no, in the same time frame.
Yeah.
It's like it shoots
up and down.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how to explain it in Earth terms, but it's like it shoots.
Okay, use
at you at the same time.
Use Martian terminology.
It has multiple frequencies at the same time. So in other words, you're getting what they call binaural notes on the resonance. So it's not hitting you just that, let's say.
So the
not like 12, but it's hitting you at.
So kind
5
of. So in
notes.
the middle, it's around 20 hertz, right? At the very bottom is around 40 hertz. And so the first blue, is around 4.
The blue is not when it's no.
That's
no
very
red.
light. It's like light. It goes from black to blue to the brighter the color, the higher the frequency.
The indication that there is a frequency at that point.
Okay.
Yes, it's the indication. So the brighter, so you can see that there's a big washout on some locations.
Right. So like as we go from left to right, we have a couple of like beginning streaks. It goes from the top to the bottom. It's like white. It's like really thin though, like for a very short amount of time.
And it would be like for an hour.
Like for an hour, yeah.
But you see, before that, and throughout the whole day, there's like 5 binaural frequency resonance at the same time. You know what that means? We're getting hit with like 12, 48, 50, and 100, or whatever, all at the same time.
I'm going to blow this up a little bit more, make it easier.
It's not like, yeah, okay, so that's good. There we go.
There we go.
You can see there's one at you can see the frequency. It's got one at 80, one at 140, and then there's one at. These are the FU, the frequency. So then you can see that it goes all the way down, and you can see it across time, which is moving across time.
Right, I'm moving left to across the time, left to right.
You can see that is a total washout. We are being today we were saturated, and these other frequencies you can see 40. It's not so much. You see it's blue, but if you go up on top, the other frequencies they're pretty high. So that's when you see there's 4, and then you got 8 hertz, and then you got 12 hertz. There's like the binaural ones are 8, 14, let's say, and then 20. These are binaurals. Those are additional to the washout. So it's almost like we're being totally bombarded.
Okay, so when you're basically so like they're around 8 hertz, it kind of has kind of a mid across, or basically where there's always something happening around. I actually believe, which is 7.83, correct? Right, got it. And so then there's something again up here around. Oh, what is that? 14.
Let's say 14, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around 14. There's another kind of line going across where things tend to concentrate. So that's kind of the wave that's happening. right?
And 14, as far as the brain wave is concerned, you can Google it, Google brain waves, and you'll see at 14, it's a hyper delta high up there alert where your brain is very active.
Okay.
It's like it doesn't have a chance to stop thinking.
Now, back here in the beginning of this chart, it's kind of hard to see, but there's, if you look across the entire spectrum, you kind of see these bands that are going across. So one is at, like I said, at 14,
band,
and then
so
here's one around 20.
To educate you on how to look at this.
Right.
You can see. So then there's another one at 20.
Yeah, like I was gonna say 21, but.
And there's another one at 26 almost. That's the last of the binaurals. There's a slight one at 32.
Yeah.
Those are very high for you to. Now this is separate. These are happening, the binaurals, no matter what the washouts are doing. So it's like it's giving this wave coming in and waves coming in. Something is giving this planet these waves, and the Earth is resonating these waves.
So this is set for this was the 13th, right, where we got a lot going on, and the 14th is again over here. It's almost like it's repeating the same thing, right? The beginning here.
When the rotation, I believe that we're a plateau on top of 3D Earth. That's what we are. This simulation's on a round Earth. So I do believe that this is when the Earth faces the direction of the sun again, is where we're getting these waves coming in, these washouts. These washouts can go up to 150. It's beyond the chart. You can't even see it. And sometimes they say how high it goes, but you can see how it's solid white.
Right.
At that point, and look at, if you can raise it up a little, look at the time.
Yeah, it's 11 and 12 o'clock.
It happened for me at 12 o'clock at night, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when that happened. Because then there's another spike at, it says the two other ones before that are small.
3 and 5.
12 minus 5, which is where I did that, was at 7 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And another one, 2 hours, which was later, which is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're getting these spikes at specific time frames. So if you go to this other chart, you can see where the spikes are at. You see how it's indicating to the graph?
Yeah.
The peaks.
What do the colors mean?
Or move over to the other, to the end.
Left side.
Move it to the left, yeah. And then if you move it to the left, they have you can see it's indicative to a set of frequencies. Yeah. Which they consider what they call A3, then there's an A1, which is
so we're looking at looking at A1 and A3 here is what they're pointing out, right? The other two.
You can see it goes up to, look how high it goes, up to 8, almost. Yeah, about 80.
About 670.
This one here.
Yeah, probably in the 70s.
Some of the lower ones, you see, they're trying to group like the waves, how they reacted, the waves.
So the white up here is the white up here. The white.
Yeah, different component parts of it.
Yeah, this is the components.
You can actually see. You can see that it's a hodgepodge of frequencies.
Right.
I mean, you can. This one starts at 24. The other ones go up to 30, and then there's the different waves. You can see some of them peak at 30. So that's pretty high. So any one of us getting a 80 hertz, that at that duration, you're not going to be able to speak, think, or process anything unless you're already in a meditative state. So what I suggest to do with these human waves, which is what I would do, is if you're a natural meditator, you will know when a disruption happens, like you hit 80 hertz.
So
you'll know it because you'll feel it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, but what about this Q1 and Q3 here? So are we talking about QAnon? Are there activity of QAnon at this point?
Well, yeah, there could be different factors involved here.
I'm kind of joking, but
I'm not sure what the Q represents there. I haven't gone into the graphs too deep, but because I go to the main one,
yeah,
and that pretty much tells me, if you look at it enough times, you're gonna know and see everything in it.
Yeah.
And that's enough information.
So
the graphs are kind of like for you.
So we're expecting a lot of energy to come in on the 17th.
I would. You can actually save each day the human, and I guarantee you it's going to be progressive. And you see these waves. I believe that the washouts are going to be replaced by solid wave washouts. So all we're going to see is one solid wave going all the way down and breaking up in sections, but solid. And it's going to hit up real high. So, and there's been so much talk about this. Where are the waves coming from, right, Dan? Where would the waves be coming from? You know, it's one question.
Well, I see that it's a system, right? It's not they're not discrete parts. They all function together. So the sun, the earth, the moon, the other planets, it's a system.
Now you got it, what I'm saying. So we're not necessarily getting the human from, let's say, the sun, but we are getting the human. It's how the planet reacts to its surroundings. The moon, let's say, an additional planet that many people have been seeing. I'm going to introduce, let's say, Nibiru or some planet near us that could be causing a reaction. So the planet is sensitive, and there's so much speculation, but be assured that because we have the lines and then we have the washouts, we're getting two separate types of energies hitting the planet. And if you look carefully, you might be able to find the third.
Okay.
I just want to stay with two because it gets more complicated if you think of it. Because,
right.
The sources of all these energies are definitely not.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it's one thing, right? I don't. So starting to say that there's different parts to the car, but there's only one car, right?
Exactly. There's only one planet which will react one way. Ultimatum, yeah, ultimately. And I would say this could be something for you in your heart to realize that maybe something is happening true according to some of the people that we follow for advice. Like, I don't want to mention their names, but I'll just say the trustees and other people within our group that we like to listen to, and they give information, and then this is one form you can prove if they, when they mention that we are going to go through some changes on this specific day, chances are go to the Schumann and watch it, and if you see the Schumann react, it can validate that person, what they say.
So this is
it could be something that you might look at.
So here's the website. Just because when you're saying, it sounds like you're saying human, but it's SCHUMANN. So
Schumann,
yeah, Schumann. Yeah. So it sounds a little like human, but and then -residence.org. So it's kind of showing you the Earth in the fundamental mode is 7.83. The second order is 14.1, and then the third is at 20.3. So that's kind of so.
You see how that works? Is that each frequency has its own wobble, which
Yes.
means that it doesn't. Each frequency does not interact with each other. They are separate. That's what I was mentioning. That's why I say there are several. They're not. The waves are one thing. The washouts are one, and there's probably a third and a fourth device within the human resonance that are wobbles, you see?
Yeah.
And each one of these wobbles creates a resonance which each person is going to be affected by it, definitely. If you are affected by this human resonance because we are a part of the earth. And many of the reasons why we always ask, well, we want the darkness to leave our planet. Let me tell you one of the reasons why many of the beings that are dark can't leave, and like it has been said that they have to adapt to us and become part of mankind, is because the human resonance already adapted their body system to Earth. They can't go anywhere else on the galaxy and live. It's not that they can leave. They leave, they expire. The human resonance has a factor where it will make you part of Earth to the point where it is your home. And that's the biggest thing about it, which one has to realize. It has a lot to do with the way we are, the way we need to be. It has a lot to do with how we react to each other, and it has to do a lot with humanity and its position and its goal where it needs to go, the resonance. So yes, it means that we will dimensionally acquire a position within the universe that the universe can see us as partakers within the ultimate groups. So the human has a big important factor in in everything we're doing. Okay. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
No, I was just listening. I was just, thinking is
I'm sorry.
there is a
I just
lot.
had to get that little part.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine. I was just thinking as you're talking about this, because there is uh, so much things happening. I'm saying every day, there's so much to cover, so many different things that are happening on the different front lines that we're working on, and so you can see that the energies are coming in waves, and it's going to be more intense, right?
Yeah.
This intensity is going to increase in what's coming across, from the different things. So when you watch, there's this focus for a few days on rioting, right? And then all of a sudden it shifts into, oh, the country's opening, right? So
Oh,
there's the dynamic between the two, right? So what is
yes, yes. I think how the human is how we're doing on the planet. So if it's
yeah.
like really chaotic chaos, meaning really getting hit with frequencies and waves and all up and down, that's how humanity is reacting on the planet.
Well, everyone was
Asymptomatic.
sleeping, right? So everyone was kind of snoozing around, having some, dreams and kind of doing their daily stuff, but not really focus on what's going on around. And people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and no one's
Okay, yeah.
noticing, right? And so now everyone's waking up and kind of noticing, and so there's a lot of whoa, what's going on here, right? And so there's this great awakening, right? It means that there's going to be a lot of energy. A lot of people are going to be questioning, putting out information. They're going to be asking about what is happening, And so, having a let's say a meter, right? That like
Yeah.
the Schumann meter. That you kind of oh look, it's a very active weather pattern today. It's the human.
It's like the weather. Yeah, you can say.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I never. Yeah, it's the weather. You look at the shoe and oh wow, it's been active last night. Ooh. Okay, then you
I
get to see how humanity, and believe it or not, the wobbles on the planet with the frequencies, humanity can affect them. We can affect the human rhythm
well, yeah.
by increasing your love in your heart. You can affect the human and raise the vibration.
There's only one
Haven't we
car.
always said that?
There's
Yeah.
only one car.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so it's all
It's
the
like
parts are going to have to work together, right? But if you're on a very positive outlook, right? Keeping an eye out for what's good, focusing on that, it's kind of like the Indians, the Native American. They'd have this tradition of talking about the two wolves. One is a good wolf and one is a bad wolf. Which one is going to survive is the one you feed, right? So if you keep feeding
yes.
the bad energy in, that's what's going to be predominant. So even though there's these waves from the negative that are there, because there's an oscillation, right? You got the positive and the negative, positive and negative, positive and negative. So we just need to be positive, negative as we're going positive, continuing to rise. So the little negatives that come
Exactly.
in,
Yes.
little negatives come
Increase
in,
your positives. Yes, and then as the
minimize.
trustee mentioned, when we meditate inside our heart, bring our hearts out, feel the love and the need of everybody around us, and how we can help humanity out, then that will rise the human, create wobbles of frequency. We can actually create so and then when it's not creating a high resonance, it's creating a stable, consistent resonance. Because ideally, the Schumann at 7.83 is the Earth's frequency we've had for always. But then, and this is the point I want to get across here, which is important, is that the waves are not for the planet to increase its vibration. The waves are intentionally to create disruption, to get you off the couch. That's what it is.
Well,
Bottom
well,
line. No more sitting down. No more quarantined at home. Let's get to work. Let's do the things we have to do normally. Get the whole machinery going. Get our heart mechanisms and dealing with people, and let our love spread. That'll kind of like balance all those waves. You see, if not, we're just gonna get hit and hit and hit and hit until we decide to be in our heart. You see how the waves work? It, it, it's the reason they're there. You see, the waves are not there for us to, oh, let's get it, let's transform. Like many think, ascension. No, believe it or not, it's not. Those waves are there to go up to 80 is for you to be 100 miles an hour in your head. You know, you don't want to, you can't stay home. You got to be doing something. You're thinking things are all going because it's chaos. So that's what these waves are, is to provoke you.
So,
And
so when you have the cabal out there, right? They also recognize this science here, right? And
oh
they want to basically send all since this is going to be occurring, they want to have that sent towards the negative energy side, down the dark path.
yeah,
So
exactly, yeah.
so it
It's
will
a choice.
occur. The dark path elements are going to be there, but we can't focus on those. We have to focus on the positive outcomes, on the people that are coming together. I mean, we're
Correct.
and the two sides are shaping up, and to say you're going to be on one side, right, and you're going to just sit there because you've always been there on that side, and because you've said the other side is the bad side, you can't possibly go there, right? But
I'll give you an example. Um, I'll give you an example from the Bible. What's one of the things that the scriptures say? I like using the scripture sometimes because it has a lot of wisdom. One of the wisdoms it has is that we can't separate the wheat from the chaff until the end. This means that the rain falls on the good and the bad.
Yeah.
These waves are falling on both.
Yeah.
Now, what we do with it, because there's no, well, where are the good people? Let's just shine on the good people. It's not differentiating people or humanity or even races or even ETs. It's not doing it. It's falling on everybody. So in other words, these waves are falling on all. So there's no, it's not falling on only the blacks or the whites. So there's no racial thing. There's no race. So in conclusion, we are affected equally, which is exactly what is needed at the end for us to decide. The choice is us, right?
Well, the thing is that both sides here think they're the wheat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, but there's
Both
only
sides think they're the wheat.
yeah. So everyone. You can. I'm looking at things, and let's say we look at the polling. So we have what's being presented as a race war, right? Black versus white, right? Which makes no sense to anyone that is white. Yeah, mostly. I mean, for the most part. I mean, because most people. I mean, I don't remember growing up. Once even when I was living in Pennsylvania in a little town that was kind of segregated, right, and there was this rule that black people didn't come down over the bridge into this town, right? They'd be shot, right? Which didn't make any sense to me, right? It was like crazy thinking. Like, how can someone think that way? You know, and so the people that I grew up with, did I meet some people that were more, let's say, racially like divided? Yes, right. And they would say something that might be, would be definitely considered offensive if there was someone of another color in the room, and I would basically have a negative reaction to it. I said, I'm not going to, beat them about the head and shoulders for saying something, but they could tell from my energy that I wasn't accepting of that, right? But what we can see though is that we're being presented this Black Lives Matter, which implies white lives don't matter, or Asian lives don't matter for the most part. Now they like to say, well, people of color. Well, white is a color as well. I go with pink. I'm looking at myself right now. I'm fairly pink. I'm all for the pink power. Pink is in, right? So this is what we're being presented is a race war. Now, that's that path, but are we going down it or not? And I don't see us going down that road. In fact, I see the opposite. I see that there's a Rasmussen poll that was done that showed that Trump's support is at 40% from the black population. That's up from 23%. So the direction that's going is that people are pulling together under Trump, right? Under this leader that is basically presenting America for Americans, or extend that to the world, you know, because there is behind that is that, you know, Indians for India or Russians for Russia or Chinese for China, right? Is that everyone can focus in on their own backyard, get that squared away, and then we can trade, right? Individually, one-on-one, and maybe come up with a three-way agreement if it makes sense, you know. But the globalism idea is dead. We recognize it as a system of slavery. It was being put together by people who have done slavery for centuries upon centuries, right? That they pit one country against another. They create wars so that they can actually profit from them. And the cannon father would be the people that's, you know, the collateral damage is our children that we send to these wars under the guise of patriotism or to fight the bad guy. But that's not really what's been occurring. Right? So we have to now realize that now that the sides are shaping up. Where are the blacks going towards is towards the opposite side from where they've been on. If you want to say Democrat Republican, we could say that, but it's more than that, because there's a lot of Democrats that are joining, right? It's not those parties. Even in the Republican Party, there's Republicans that are going against this. So it's really Americans for America. It's, you know, the positive for the abundance path. And this is where I see the road and where things are shaping up. And that's what people are waking up to. Pause for dramatic effect. Did I lose Lazaro?
Sorry. One of the things that you have to realize is why is this human falling down on everybody? It is telling you, look, there's no black lives matter, there's no white lives matter, there's no matter nothing. It's everybody. We're all equal. I'm giving you this energy to all. It's not separating itself. It's not saying only this group is going to get this energy. Everybody's going to get it, whether they want it or not. So so guess who's telling us that we need to become one and forget all this nonsense that's happening? It's Earth. Earth is resonating and telling you, look, stop it. Look how all the plants get together. Look at how all the bugs are in harmony they are together. Look at how all these things are. Look at the ocean. How all the fishes live in there and there's schools and they run around and they interact. We on the surface are getting the same energy that they are, that everyone's getting, all equal. And what are we doing? We're doing the opposite of what Earth wants us to do, of what the energies want us to do, if you just want to look at it at that point of view.
Right. Well, from that,
look at it as Earth, and not go any further than that. And you can't go further.
Yeah, so you're you know, the bugs get together and they're all hankering together. And what I was thinking is, you know, I really hate mosquitoes, and the reason I hate mosquitoes is because, you know, they're a parasite. They're sucking off my blood, and you know, and I'm not you know, and I'm not okay with that, right? And so it's the parasitic nature of what's been created here. The debt-based money system is part of that. You know, the you know, the control structure, the poisoning systems of the companies out there to basically limit the lifespan. All of these things are not for the benefit of us.
Earth is suffering too. All that poison in the water. You know?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The nuclear, the this, the that.
Yeah.
We need to go to. Why haven't we changed to thorium reactors, which is so much less radioactive
Yeah.
and more powerful.
Right.
It's because we want nuclear bombs. We want. I don't want to talk about it because we might get shut down with that. But because there's an element there that they want, and they want
Well,
to have these plants. So.
well, to talk about it a little bit, it's still the greed-based system. It's the control-based system.
Exactly.
If you want to consider, yeah, nuclear weapons are horrible, horrible things, right? Kill millions of people, wipe out whole everything's just decimated. It's melted. It's horrible. But the
And
cities.
destroys the fibers of the universe. Something like that.
Well, I was just going to. So if you go look where those two bombs were dropped in Japan right now, they're thriving cities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hype and scare tactics that were put in around that, right? Listen, I'm they are scary, right? But they made them hyper scary in order to institute super controls that eliminated those thorium reactors you're talking about. And there's others. There's another form of a plasma reactor using boron, right? And you can basically make a system where you'd use boron, right, and not nuclear whatsoever, right? But you'd still be able to create.
There's so much.
So there's so much ways of doing this and creating the energy in a positive way, but they always put the fear into it. They always put the controlling systems into it so that they can maintain this power, right? It's because they want the people to be there as their body so that they can be a mosquito and suck off the blood of the people. So this is the parasitic nature that we need to throw off. So we need to have a deep cleanse, right? And that's what we're going through right now, is we're having a deep cleanse. Now maybe it's a good idea. Maybe we need to do that physically in our bodies ourselves, go through a cleanse at this point, right? So that representing, that we're cleansing not just our bodies, but the body of everything. And so maybe that's a good idea to start that type of process. So
yes, they like they said on the chat, the scientists have manipulated the way we even perceive science, that we are fact believing creatures. If it's not proved to us, then we disapprove it. So that's one of the biggest things in science has to be removed, because that excludes any kind of ability that you would have that would be extrasensory, which we are beings developing extrasensory perception, and they have to be part of the scientific evaluation of anything, which is what's happening now, is it's being devoid of it. So that aspect of science has to change, and it's got to go in a hurry, because they purposely did it so that anything that has to do with, I'll give you an example. They consider people that are multiple personality as schizophrenic. Well, I see schizophrenia as someone who can actually channel other beings. So I see it as different than what a psychologist would see, because I've dealt with people that can channel different beings. So the perception of science and the way humanity has gone, this is all going to get hit hard with this chaos in the human. And we're going to have to decide. Just be ready, everybody. I guess Dan can give one of the best suggestions that you can do is live abundant in your heart towards yourself and towards others. Don't even think one moment what you have was not obtained by the help from someone else. Have you ever thought about that, Dan? How did
Sure.
you? How are you where you're at?
Well, no.
Get
So my study of, let's say, reality, right, or quantum mechanics and everything is to know this, that you, every one of you, me, every one of me, is 100% responsible for the reality in which you're in.
we're well, 6 points from connecting to everybody on the planet. 6, right? What was that computation? That you can do 6 points and you connect with everybody on the planet. This means that you have the butterfly effect possibly with everybody around you. And you will affect them either by a butterfly or directly or indirectly. So don't even think for one moment that what you do, even locked up in a home, isn't affecting anybody around you. It is. As the waves come in, you will get affected equally like everybody else. What you do with it is what needs to be seen. I hope we today on this chat we say that we gotta bring ourselves in our hearts and with love and choose that path, right? Not choose the alternate, just because it looks attractive. It has a lot of beauty. The darkness sometimes, we look at it. Wow, I can have a Mercedes Benz. I can have
Hey,
woman
are you talking
Yeah.
about charcoal color? Is that what you mean by darkness of a Mercedes Benz, or I mean, what were you going for there? I mean, you're associating Mercedes with the Benz.
I'm saying that a lot of we trade in wealth for we to give in. We see that as an attraction.
So, but
We don't
yeah,
really focus on
yeah,
wealth.
no. Well, that's part of the debt-based system, though. See, I'm
Yeah.
all for wealth, right? I am all for it, right?
Yeah.
All for having everything. You want to have a jet, great. You should be able to have a jet, right? Because you should have the ability to get to the point where you need a jet, right? And that's fine, right? But the abundance side of this is over. It's hard to see through the debt-based system. It really is, because
Exactly.
it's a world
A
on
lot of
it's a world
there's
on.
a lot of dark ways to get to. There's actually 2 ways to get to anything. You can choose the wrong way or the easy way or the hard way. Sometimes the easy way isn't the right way to go. You know, anybody can go. They need money. They can go to the bank and rob it. They got money, or they can spend and do a deal, do a contract, open up a business. Now they got money. You see, so there is paths that we can take, an alternate path that to achieve wealth. That yes, we can achieve it the honorable way. I guess you would say the honorable way, right? And do an honor-based system where you honor each other and gain wealth that way. And I think you can gain a lot of wealth by
Well,
that
if
system.
you have a if the system itself is parasitic, right? And
Yeah.
you the resulting ways in which people have to interact with it are parasitic. So the individuals themselves, that you have the best intentions, right? But the only tool you have available to do something is this parasitic system. I when I was a young entrepreneur, I had this idea that the banks were there to lend me money if I was a good risk, right? And if I was to present something that would, let's say, make it be available, make it attractive, right? And so, I had a really good business plan. I had orders that were projected orders. I had people that companies that were ready to buy. I had a good rating and experience and a lot of business with the bank, put a business plan, so this is what's going to happen, this is how much money is needed just to manufacture the particular product. And they said no.
Yeah, I remember you saying that one.
I thought,
yeah.
No, why? Oh, I mean, isn't this what you're there for? You're gonna make money. I'm gonna make money, right? But no, it was a no. I mean, and it was it was solid. There was people that were buying this product, right? And it was just a matter of manufacturing it. Now, small amounts were coming out, right? But the orders far outstripped what was being able to go without being able to get larger production runs and things like that. Yeah. So, well, literally buying the parts, though, if you buy these, runs of, 20 pieces or 100 pieces, you need to buy tens of thousands, right? You need to go into manufacturing, right? And you, even if it's scaled out, right, you need to have those prices, right, to keep the cost down, or you're basically giving up money, right? So anyway, but the parasitic system that it sits there is not there for your benefit, no matter how they proclaim it, right? So you need to be able to pierce the veil, right, and see what it is to be abundance. I've been calling it the new path forward, a way in which we can look at things and what way can we get there. Now, I have.
Go ahead, Dan. Describe it a little more because it's important for you to say this clearly.
Yeah. So
there's a confusion sometimes about it.
Well, so if everyone knows that if you're a Star Trek follower, you know that the Star Trek economy, right, there's no money there, right? But they never are clear on how you go about getting your resources together to manufacture something, to do something, to make a product. So they've evolved past that point, right? So that might be the end goal, but it's not tomorrow, right? It's not next year. It's not in 10 years. It may be 100 years from now, or it may be 500. Right. It may be 500 years from now. It might be 10,000 years from now. It doesn't matter how long away it is. It's just we know that that's a far off goal to where it's not about the money. Right now, it's all about the money. We can't just turn off that and turn on something that no one knows how to deal with it, right? So what is it to be abundant, right? What is it to have in a system there? So right now we have a system that was presented as an abundant system. The current system was presented to the world as an abundant system. What does that mean? Now, you would put up an asset, and that asset would then generate currency. The currency would flow off into the hands of the governments, and the governments would use that money to create a humanitarian project, build a dam, build a road, build schools, whatever it was for the benefit of their citizens, right? So what was it based upon was that asset. Now, the problem is that they considered that what they also considered an asset was the people. So if the people are the asset, how can it be for the benefit of the asset? So when you're just based it on gold, for example, right, or land, let's say gold, their traditional store of value of the gold, to have that sitting there, became, well, I'm going to put out pieces of paper to represent that, and that moved out. Now, as long as that gold was sitting there and the paper was moving out into the world and circulated, then that's what the value was, right? So it was based upon whatever that gold was. So but what they started doing was considering everything an asset, and that's why that the people were they were no longer the beneficiary, they were the asset. Meant that you could move them around, you could sell them, you could trade them. And that's where the problem lies.
Yes.
Right? So you have to stop being an asset, right? You have to be the beneficiary of the system. So how do you get there, right? So one of the other problems of the system that becomes parasitic is the government, right? Which is there for the people, right? It's the representation of the people, and they want to create money. What is the mechanism that's tied to the reality of the economy that allows them to create money? Well, it used to be the amount of gold they have sitting there, right? Let's say that they could do 10 times that amount, right? I mean, whatever the goal there, they allow them to do 10 times the amount, and that's what floats out there. And as long as it sits like that, it's fine, right? That system will function, right?
Yeah.
But what they've created now is, since the people are the asset, right? They're also the ones that are generating the funds, the currency. Because of their moving the currency around, the people are the ones that are moving the currency around. That creates the way for them to pay off the loans for that debt-based system, right? So the government created money this way by loans, right? Then the asset is basically drained, which is the people, to pay that off in the form of taxes. So I can't see any possible way in which you can tax a population and then have it not be parasitic. If the government is there for the people, why is it taxing the people? Well, it's taxing the people because of the debt-based system. We get rid of the debt-based system, there's no need to tax the people. There's no need to fee the people. Fees. There's no reason to collect money from the people by the government, which is the people, if they're the ones that are making the currency. All you need to do is create a system that allows for the government to have some kind of throttle on how much currency that they're putting out. I mean, we have this system now in which they just make as much currency as they want. Why do they have to collect it? Why do they have to collect it in taxes? Why do they collect it in taxes from the people? It's because the people are a battery. The people are basically being drained. It keeps the people from having wealth. It keeps the people in control of the government. And that's the only reason, right? The system is set up to control the people by draining them. It's a system, a parasitical system. So if we get rid of that, we don't need taxes, right? We don't need fees. The government doesn't need to collect any money ever. Not for one thing. They only are responsible for putting money out into the system. Now, there's one way that you can do that leverages the how much they can put out there, because they can't just keep putting out an infinite amount of money without any connection to the economy. And that connection to the economy would be the level of productivity, the productivity of companies, and the productivity of the people. Now, the people that work in the companies, they both are creating, say they're making that car that we've been talking about. So the people on the line that are welding things, or they're pushing buttons, or they're putting things on this, and whatever they're doing, they're being productive. So let's say they were points. They got productivity points, right? They got productivity points, and the manufacturer got productivity points. And so once you got productivity points, you can then exchange those into the hands of the government in exchange for what? Money that's printed, along with something else, an asset. that's created. So the car is now an asset that's put out there, a commodity asset in order, because it's got a value for a certain period of time. Let's say it's 10 years. The car lasts 10 years. Most cars are like 5 years, but let's just say it's 10 years. So you got a vehicle there that's an asset for 10 years, and so that the money that moved out into the system, right, is based upon that asset that was created, and so it's there and it's providing value for 10 years. It's moving around and it's doing things, and so it's helping to create more productivity because the people are driving the car to get to work and so on. So there's a system right there, right? You're tying together with an asset with the productivity. It limits the amount of money going out. The government never has to collect anything from the people. You never have to file taxes. You never have to do all those accounting. Now, if you're a business-minded person, you want accounting, right? You want to do accounting. That's fine, right? Because that's what you need to do. It's part of what you need to make your business. Some business owners, I got a little store. I know the whole inventory of in my head. I know when I'm low on something. I know I pick up the phone, I order. I never write anything down. It's all in my head. That's fine too, right? But if you become like a multinational, company around, and you're going to have to do some accounting, right? So, but we can envision, systems that are by using tools that we have available to get to there. So right now, how do we do that? So do we want printed money? Do we want to have dollars in our wallet? Do we want to have gold coins? Do we want to have virtual currency like the gold grain coin that I developed? These are all just forms that are holding a container of value. So we can have many forms of that. There could be 10,000 of them. We can have a decentralized money supply, right? That each one has its own nuance to it. When we had 13 colonies, there was 13 monies, and they were doing really well, right? They had an abundance. They were able to pay off debts. They were able to borrow and pay off things. So, but there was but this money was put out by the government without interest. Because once you charge interest, this becomes parasitic. Any interest you charge becomes parasitic. So there should never be, I think, even on a personal basis, people going into a loan system where you're going to be charging an interest. Now, if you want to basically say, you get a share of the business, you get something back, but as soon as you attach that interest rate to it, I think in general, though you could say that it's harmless, overall it's like down the dark path. So I've had people really get upset with me by saying, well, you can't charge interest for anything because it leads down the dark path, right? Because they don't think that it's wrong to charge interest, right? If you make money off of money, right, then it's a problem. If you make money off of sending money, is that a fee or is that interest? It's a fee. So let's say you're going to Western Union. Is it okay for there to be? I think that there's nothing wrong with charging a fee for someone to process money to do something because it's a business. There was a niche there that got filled. If the niche doesn't exist, then there's no fee to charge. There's no business to create. There's no, but it's not making money off of lending money. So of course this, really disturbs banks. Well, they don't lend to the average people anyway, except for specific things that are they create these debts where in the end you don't own anything. For example, the only loans that you get from banks in general are three different ones: car loan, a house loan, or credit card. So in the house and the car, you don't own it when you're done paying for it, right? You get a title, which is the right to use, right? And they've restricted you from having value because you're just an asset. how can you own something? You're just an asset. So the credit card is just another form of creating a large amount of debt on you. Yeah. So this is why the credit card companies freak out if you send them $1 more than the whole value of what they send you. They have to send you a check back. You know, oh, can't have that. Can't have you because you've just created a blip on in the system of credit and debit that can't be there. So anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, so in creating a new path forward where there is abundance, you have a money system that is the same across the board for every country. Every country can interact with it, you know, and understand how the rules work, and you can move money from place to place without restriction, right? It doesn't matter. You want to send $1 billion, send $1 billion. Why would anyone should say anything about it? You know, right now they'll say, oh, well, that's money laundering. Oh, that's drug running. It's arms dealing, right? All of these reasons why they have to tell you they need to know if you're buying a stick of gum at 7-Eleven, right? It's all about, again, control. But there should be no sense of this. If there is someone that's doing something bad, it's the money system should not be the system that is compromised. Because once you compromise it, then you give power to individuals that then can abuse it. So the money should be able to flow freely. That's actually part of the definition of money, is it should be able to be moved without hindrance. So. Well, anyway, that's a general way to get there, right? That's how those are steps. So, you know, how do we do it? What are the steps? Well, we have to build our businesses this way. We have to build our economy. We have to use that. Now, I've designed the whole concept of what Gold Grain Coins does as one part of a system. I see it as part of a 4-part system, which includes people as another part. Businesses that are creating value that pour into that economy, and then another coin that's there that fills a different role. All right, one is a bridge. The first coin, the Gold Grain coin, is a bridge to the existing financial world. And another one, which would be an internal payment system, like within a country, right? You say everyone in this group uses this to, you know, pay for things, even pay people for working for you. You can pay with this. It's the same. It would hold value as long as you can always convert it back and go to the existing system, so you don't feel hindered in any way, right? Because then that, to me, that seems there's less value. So anyway, so that's some of the concepts. So you want to jump in here? I'll just keep running away with it. Hello. Lazaro disappeared again. Okay. Well, so that's you know, I guess the basis of things. Anyways, I just noticed we're just at 1 hour right now. It's probably a good place to break off. You know, I thought this is a good topic to discuss, is you know, about the energies and the things that are happening. To kind of say, let's stay on the positive side. Let's focus on how do we move out of the parasitic based system. Use the tools we have. Get our focus on the positive, and let's go there. Any last words for Lazaro? No. It's okay. I think we lost him along the way. Maybe he got another call or something. Well, I guess, and then until until tomorrow, I appreciate everyone. Oh, one more thing. Let's tune in 1 second Let me go back over to the display here. I want to talk about Parler because Parler is my Parler account is growing. So we're just breaking, I think, about 200 right now. $226. Oh, actually, it's grew a lot since this morning. Actually, I think we're just over 200, so it's 226. I posted this interesting little I don't want to call it a meme yet, but a Twitter from Lori Hendry, who said, "Been out all day putting Trump stickers on rioters' car, and then sitting back and watching them destroy each other's cars." That was pretty interesting. So please come here. Just if you like something, go ahead and put a little click on the arrow up. You know, I'm putting the videos here as well. I'm putting memes here as well. When you make your account, be sure to start following people. I'm right now following almost 400 people. I'll be 400 in a second here. Just clicking on these. As I said, most of them I'm following almost everyone, unless I see one, name or something that is just like a Joker account. I don't want these guys. So Lincoln's Profit. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds interesting. Sparky. Tretbit with Trump's photo there. Here's a Gary. So, you get the idea. Just starting following people, and then they follow you back. And then when you post, it's going to appear. Almost done here. Look up here in notifications. So I got 99 plus notifications. I cleared that earlier today, so it's kind of getting up there. So here's some upvoted. Someone upvoted on my post. Again, my link is down below and it's PARLER, not OR. So just you're at the right spot, and then follow the people that like the stuff that you're doing, right? Just follow along. So what's this one? So Q Patriot is now following you. Oh, so that's GAQ Patriot. So I'll follow him back. He's got a nice background there. Okay, another new follower. Echoed my post. So people were echoing my post, and they weren't even following me yet, because they would have shown up differently. I think maybe I'm wrong. No, yeah, because I wasn't They were. Maybe they're following me. I didn't follow them yet. So anyway, this is again, this is learning as we go. It seems to be a pretty nice system so far. Again, Dan Bongino is how I got here. Dan Bongino has 200,000 there. I'm only over 200, so I've got a ways to go to catch up to Dan Bongino, but it's a good goal. And with your help, I appreciate you jumping over here. And he says, I dreamed they built a hive. Oh my goodness, forget. Well, sometimes it's very colorful, put it that way. So I don't know what you're putting out there sometimes. Follow, follow, follow. I see. Sometimes you follow one and it ends up a bunch of them that were the same guy commenting on a bunch of things that you're doing. Well, that's good. I think we're going to be accelerating since we're going up now, getting I guess 50 people from since yesterday. We were going up about 30 people a day for a while, so that's quite telling. Oh, there's Lazaro. Lazaro was hey, good work, Lazaro, up there. Putting a lot. Okay, that cleared through it all. Oh, well, that was quite a lot. 96. I'm gonna clear them all out. All right, and back home. So again, please join me over here. And again, I'm at Real Dan Lutz, showing right here. But the link is down below, so you can come right to this page. I can highlight that. I've got this highlighter added to my system here, highlighted in green. There we go. That looks good. All right. I guess that's good for today. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Lazaro, for showing up today. A good topic. And I guess, we did this about a week ago. Maybe we could do this once a week. That's a thought. So until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.